Hey there, HTSD families. So, the district's November newsletter just dropped, and it is packed with important info. But let's be real, who has time to read through all of it? Well, don't worry, we've got you. We've gone ahead and boiled it all down to the 5 absolute must-knows for this month, all in about 5 minutes. Let's dive right in. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the district's huge academic focus on math. Then, we'll get into some crucial new safety rules, both for in-person and online. After that, we'll jump into some big changes at the high school, hit some key dates for your calendar, and then wrap up with how you can get more involved in your school's community. First up, let's talk about the district's #1 academic priority. This year, HTSD is going all in on a massive district-wide push to really strengthen math skills for every single student, from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade.
So how are they doing this? Well, it's kind of a two-part plan. First, they're rolling out brand new math programs across all the schools. And second, and this is key, they're actually building dedicated time for extra support right into the school day. The idea is to make sure any student who needs a little help can get it, right then and there.
And this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing either. For our younger kids in elementary school, they're using programs like Envisions and First in Math that are all about hands-on learning. Then, for the middle and high schoolers, the new Reveal program is being paired up with some pretty cool digital tools like MyPath and ALEX. These actually adapt to each student, creating a personalized practice path just for them. It's a really smart, comprehensive strategy. All right, let's switch gears to something that's on every parent's mind: school safety. We're going to cover both the new rules for getting into school buildings and the digital guardrails that are in place to keep students safe online. Okay, so let's get real for a second. We have all been there, right? You get that text, your kid forgot their lunch, their homework, maybe even their Chromebook. So what's the deal now? What are you supposed to do? The district has set up a really simple new system to keep things moving and cut down on disruptions. All you do is use the intercom to give the office a heads up. Then you just place the item, make sure it's labeled, in the waterproof box near the entrance. From there, a staff member will grab it and make sure it gets to your student. Easy. Now, this new drop-off rule is part of a bigger effort to keep the buildings secure. So just as a quick reminder, you can't just pop into the building during arrival or dismissal without an appointment, and services like DoorDash aren't allowed for students. Now, the one big exception here, and this is super important, is for medications. Those still need to be brought in and given directly to the nurse by a parent or guardian. Okay, now let's talk about online safety. The district uses a tool called Go Guardian on all school devices, and their philosophy here is pretty simple. It's better to be safe than sorry. What that means is they take a really restrictive approach. If a website is new or hasn't been officially checked out and approved, it gets blocked automatically. And this is a really important heads up for both students and parents. Trying to get around that web filter is a big no-no. It's a violation of the school's policy, and the school takes this really seriously, so it can lead to disciplinary action. It's all about making sure the online learning space is safe for everybody. All right, high school families, this next part is specifically for you. There are 2 huge changes happening this year that you absolutely need to be aware of: the new block schedule and, you guessed it, the return of midterm and final exams. So you might be wondering, why the big switch to this day 1/day 2 schedule? Well, it really all boils down to creating a better, deeper learning experience. These longer 80-minute class periods mean more time for in-depth instruction, fewer chaotic class changes during the day, and it just gives teachers and students more time to build real relationships. The whole point is to up the academic rigor. And speaking of rigor, that brings us to the return of exams. For any full-year high school course, here's how it works now. All your work during the 4 marking periods, that makes up a big chunk, 80% of your final grade. And that last 20%, that's split right down the middle between your midterm and your final exam, each worth 10%. And hey, a special shout out to the seniors. November is officially college application month, so now is the time to be getting those apps in. And don't forget, filling out the FAFSA is now required for graduation, though there is a waiver if you need it. We've also got the next SAT dates on here for you. And listen, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that is what your school counselor is there for. Go talk to them. All right, let's pull out those calendars. It's time to run through some of the key dates you're going to want to circle for the month of November. Okay, here are the days off you'll want to plan for. There's no school for students on Tuesday, November 4th for Election Day. Then, there's also no school on that Thursday and Friday, November 6th and 7th for the Teachers' Convention. And of course, school will be closed on the 27th and 28th for the Thanksgiving break.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, you can't miss out on a fantastic community tradition. The big annual football game between Steinert and Hamilton West is happening on Thanksgiving morning at 10:30. And get this, admission is totally free this year. They will be taking donations at the gate, though, for the Steve Gazdick Memorial Scholarship Fund, which is for a wonderful cause.
Okay, last section. And honestly, this might be the most important one. It's all about you. The district is really clear that the partnership they have with families is what truly makes all the difference for our students. And look, getting involved doesn't mean you have to sign your life away. It can be as simple as reaching out to your school's PTA. Or you could just check out the HTSD Family Learning Hub online. It has tons of great resources. You could even attend a virtual info session about becoming a teacher. The point is, there are a bunch of different ways to connect that can fit into any schedule. This quote from the superintendent, Dr. Scott Rocco, really just sums it all up perfectly. He says, "We are a community of learners, and this means we need to work together so that each child gets the support and education they need to be successful. It's a team effort, and your partnership isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential." So, we'll leave you with this to think about. After hearing about everything going on, the new math programs, the safety rules, all the ways to connect, what's one new way, big or small, that you can partner with your child's school this month? Thanks so much for tuning in.